Well, the time is just gone 8:27 a.m. as we continue our broadcast this morning, focusing on Youth Day 2023 for the first half of the show, under the banner and under the theme, the youth are not powerless. Now, next up, we are going to be talking with Faeeza Lok. Faeeza is a social entrepreneur and a fierce advocate for equality. She founded the Voice of the People movement. She has spearheaded a powerful grassroots initiative that aims to solve hyper local problems using design thinking strategies. Now, drawing on her extensive experience as a researcher at the presidency, Faiza is a leading expert in policy and social innovation. She is deeply committed to addressing the inequalities in her community. She is based in Johannesburg. She works tirelessly to promote positive change and advance the cause of equality for all. With a passion for empowering individuals and building bridges across diverse communities, Faiza is a true visionary and a driving force for social transformation. Faeeza Lok, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Walaikum wassalam. Good morning to you and your listeners.
Yes, wonderful that you are able to join us now. Clearly, reading your bio, very, very impressive. Social entrepreneur, a fierce advocate for equality. And under this banner of the youth are not powerless, it's so important because when one looks at young people, when one looks at the sacrifices of June the 16th, 1976, it was about social transformation, it was about political transformation, but also at the same time, it was looking at young people who needed to be empowered, and the whole issue surrounding racism, equality. All of that had actually played out in 1976, and those sacrifices have been realized today. But we still have got challenges. We've got challenges with regard to equality, South Africa being one of the most unequal countries in the world. So just take us through some of your initiatives as a social entrepreneur and just your involvement by founding the Voice of the People movement.
Yeah, thank you for the question. I can just give you an example today. Today, I helped organize the youth parade hosted by the National Youth Coalition. The National Youth Coalition basically are led by young people, and they are organized by young people, and they're shaped by young people's voices. And today we are marching for justice and change towards the union building. 8,000 young people have committed to this protest today. And we're on our way to, I'm on my way to the union building right now to actually, it's a youth parade today because we're trying to create a sort of like a festival. So it's not just a protest, we're trying to create a platform, a place where young people are enabled to connect and network with each other and actually start feeding off each other's energy and start organizing for the kind of future that we want to see, because our voice matters. As you say, the theme today is that young people are not powerless, and our voice matters. It's it's and it definitely deserves to be heard. So, because now it's our turn to dream big and take action. It is time to step into our power and make our voices heard. Whether it's through voter registration, community initiatives, speaking on issues that matter to us, sort of things that I really care about, and that my team at Voice of People movement really care about. And we believe that every action that we take can contribute to a brighter future. And today, if you're listening in and you live in Pretoria or in Gauteng, come through to the Union Building. We're starting the march at 9:30 and ending the activity at 4.
Faiza, we are close on to 30 years into our democracy, and we've seen an entire generation grow in a democratic South Africa. And today, you are talking about this march, but there are still concerns. And you being an expert in policy and social innovation, but the key issue is the inequalities that still exist in our communities, and also at the same time looking at the youth. We know that there are many, many that actually feel helpless, and this social transformation that you are a driving force about needs to be escalated. It needs to be taken to another level because many youth still feels that this democracy has not, realized their vision, and to an extent, it's actually failed them.
Yeah, you're spot on. Um, we are one of the most unequal countries, but that's why we can't do nothing. Whether you want to get involved in a political party or movement or an NPO, whatever it is, like start getting involved and start raising your collective consciousness on what's going on around us. Because the future that we want to see doesn't just happen. Young people don't just wake up and start leading the country. We got to fight for it and constantly shape that future so young people can feel like, oh, this is a thing that I can get involved in. So we I'll leave this quote by a really famous Pan Africanist. We are not the children of Africa. We are the parents of Africa, and we are given the responsibility to give birth to the Africa that we want to see. And so it really it's a reminder that 2024 is a tremendous opportunity to really get involved um, in the upcoming election. So making sure that we are getting our parents, our neighbors, our friends, our peers to register to vote, because it's an incredible opportunity for us to amplify our voice and transform our society for the better. Because we got to turn out to vote if we really want us to get out of this mess.
Faisa, you speak of involvement, or I would say a lack of involvement. And this
Right.
we have seen is quite noticeable in many communities across the country, particularly looking at the youth, because they seem to be so engrossed in many other issues, technology, for instance, and also just a general lack of interest in what is playing out in the political landscape. Because when I look at myself, when we were growing up, we were deeply politicized because of the challenges that we had faced in the apartheid era. And just looking at the challenges now that the youth face, but also the lack of involvement, the lack of interest. Now, how does one actually get the youth to sit up, to take notice that, listen, if you are going to sit by, you're going to be sit idly, you're going to do absolutely nothing, you have got a bleak future ahead of you.
Yeah, you're spot on that. The young people are apathetic, but it's not just the young people thing. I mean, we had the lowest turnout at the last election, so most South Africans are not voting because we don't like what's on the menu. We don't. We're I don't know, disappointed. We're giving up in this in our democracy, whatever you call it. Um, and I think that what I can say is that you can't be what you can't see, and so we got to start believing in our own potential and embrace our ability to make a difference, and let our dreams guide us and fuel our determination. Because together we can build a society that uplifts and empowers everyone, regardless of their background or circumstances. So yeah, I think it's just about doing the small things, having that dinner conversation, really seizing the moment to engage with your communities, rallying your peers, share your vision for a better future. Just dream. Like, it's our turn to dream big and take action. And I say you can't be what you can't see, because sometimes before I even got into you know social civil society and social work, I I didn't feel like I was represented. It's, politics seems so, like, so nasty and ugly, because it's so unattractive as someone, for someone to get involved in that. But you if not us, who will do this? Because we got to make sure that the people in parliament, in government, are making decisions that truly represent our voices, um, and so then we're served in a way that gives us dignity and happiness. So I just think that young people just need to dream, and we need to actually believe in ourselves that we can actually turn this thing around, because we're the largest demographic in South Africa, and we're not represented at all. So, take up space, get involved, and start shaping what that dream South Africa looks like to you.
Interesting. You speak of the being the demographics in South Africa, but it's not only about South Africa; it's the entire African continent. And you spoke about Pan Africanism, and when one looks at the entire continent, in fact, the bulk of the population on the African continent are young people. And again, when one looks at the political leadership, we know that many of them have actually got on in life, and we see very little in terms of young talent from a political perspective being promoted on the African continent. For example, if you look at just our neighbor Zimbabwe, and they've got the elections coming up, and we've got the current incumbent who is, I think, going to be close on to 80 years old, and you've got the opposition, you've got somebody that's around 50 odd years or 45 years old. So, what I'm saying is, one needs to recognize this talent, one needs to tap into this talent, one needs to promote this talent because the youth are our future and you are going to be our leaders.
Yes, exactly. And politics is about people. Often people feel like politics is, you know, is this is this very nasty thing where people fight and they don't care about people. But politics is about our experience, and it's about us. And so I'm currently involved in a political movement called Rise in Zanzi, and we're a bunch of citizens um, who are just tired of this mess that we're in, and we're saying enough is enough. Let's take agency and take power and actually build the South Africa we dream of. So, if I can just say that Rise and Zanzi is here to support and amplify your voice as you embark on this transformative journey, if you choose to dream with us.
Faisal, just take us through today's events. What's going to happen?
Yeah, so we're going to march to from Loftus First Felt to the Union Building. We're going to hand in the memorandum to the presidency, but that's not the end game, the goal here. The ambition is actually creating different spaces right by the Union Building, by the lawn, to actually have dialogues in one corner, have arts and culture in one corner, have debates in one corner. It's a place where we actually start catalyzing the change that we want to see and start actually organizing on and shaping the policies and the influence of decision making and inspiring the nation of what our dream South Africa look like.
Well, Faisal, we wish you all the best for the event and also going ahead, looking ahead into the future. But for now, we thank you. We do appreciate you taking time out, talking to us this morning on a Youth Day 2023.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Faeeza Lok with us, social entrepreneur, advocate for equality, and founder of A Voice of the People with us this morning. We're going to be staying with Youth Day after this. We still are going to be talking with Vashangwele Tsotsetsi, and we are talking about the whole issue surrounding political activism because we're talking, he is a chairperson of Project Youth SA and also Baswa Connect vice chairperson. So when we come back after this break, we will still continue focusing on Youth Day 2023.
Today is a very important day in the lives of young South Africans because it shows us that us as the youth of South Africa, if we see an injustice, we can unite and we can fight together for what we believe in. And it's also a day of empowerment because it shows us that no matter what problems we have, if we work together as the youth, we can achieve them. And I think that that's why it's such a special day.
My name is Adnan, and in my opinion, Youth Day commemorates the bravery and sacrifice of young South Africans who fought against apartheid and discrimination.